Hello Leo, thank you for watching. Welcome to my channel, International Tarot. This is my second round of doing these readings for each sign. I did my first round in November, and this is the round for December. If you didn't get a chance to watch the last video or my intro video, to let you know kind of how I do these, I do two readings. First, your love reading for the month, and then just sort of a general reading for the month. So let's go ahead and get started. I have been shuffling these cards for several minutes, so I think I'm about done and ready to draw the cards. So give me just a couple more minutes until I feel ready, and then we'll go ahead and start. One more. Okay, here we go. So, what are the love reading for Leo for December 2015? Your star, your moon, your hanged man, page of pentacles, four of wands, queen of swords, four of cups, king of wands, and five of wands. Okay, Leo, let's begin. What's interesting is you have three major arcana in the top row, and two of these are very similar. It's one, number 17, and then number 18, the star and the moon. Both the celestial, of the celestial type. So let's just start. I'm going to kind of go over, instead of piecing the story together, I'm just going to talk about each card for just 1 second of each of these two, or these three in the top row, and then we'll kind of tie it into the rest. So the first card you have is the star, indicative of your hopes and dreams, and kind of like wish upon a shooting star and it comes true, or blowing out your birthday candles and it comes true. It seems like maybe there's something that you have wished for or are wishing for that it's a good thing. It's something that you have in your mind. It's something that's that you're thinking about, and that you're kind of, I'm not going to say necessarily working for, but it's just some idea that you have about something. And I'm assuming, based on the other two cards in these, there are two other cards in this reading, that's about a person. This is your love reading. Maybe a little bit scary for you. You have your moon here, which is the next one. Kind of like that uncharted territory, the dark path that you've never traveled before. Kind of that ominous feeling of what's next, what's happening. It's a very mysterious energy. It's maybe something even that is going on that you're not necessarily very aware of in regards to the other person, or something that hasn't necessarily been brought to light yet. And then those two, your hopes and your dreams, and yet this uncharted territory, are right next to your hanged man, which is, looking at the world from a new perspective, turning your world upside down, viewing it from different angles, collecting different information, and making a new assessment. It's, this is more of a process type of card, you going through a process of reevaluation or of assessment. Which is very interesting because, a lot of the signs have been pulling up this type of energy, that like pulling in, retreating a little bit, and kind of reevaluating the situation, and so that sort of internal, introverted, introspective type of idea, but also the readings have been showing me a lot of social activity as well, which you have in the very center of your reading. Um, it is the holidays. There are going to be things, social events, a lot of charitable things, holiday parties, whether they're work or with your church or friends and family, people coming into town, you traveling. There's a lot of that going on. So while you are going through this period of introspection and reevaluating your situation, you're also going to be very extroverted at the same time. They're kind of are going to be running in parallel. You might be in a very kind of a dreamlike type of state, if you will, with that star and moon energy, just this very fantastical, maybe a lot of fantasies coming up this month, and new ideas, things that you've kind of been romanticizing about a little bit. I do see a few energies here indicative of people. I am feeling that you're going to meet someone new, or it could be someone in your life already. In their energy, male or female, is being represented by this Queen of Swords. And, potentially an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. It doesn't have to be. It could just be someone that sort of is displaying those qualities at this point in time, or has an air sign in another planet. But that they are, very intelligent people. They're intelligent, maybe even a little bit stern. They're very well aware of what's fair and what's just and doing what's right. This might not be the most nurturing or motherly type of figure. However, still a very an energy that very much demands respect from others and deserves respect because they have been, well versed in the ways of life, if you will. Maybe someone that is a little bit more mature, but also maybe a little bit cold as well. I feel that this person, this energy, is sort of the cause of you going through this reevaluation phase and looking at things from another angle. She's got her sword, she's pointing directly towards this. And that just indicates to me that this is the cause of this. And that maybe you're being, taken aback a little bit by a couple of things, perhaps. Someone that is so strong that maybe is interested in you. Someone that is so prominent and so stable. And maybe you haven't necessarily had someone so strong in your life before. And here this person is, and you're like, wow, this is a really amazing person, and why are they kind of even really taking me seriously? Here you have your hopes and your dreams, and your dreams are coming true. This person is being introduced to you, or maybe if it is your existing partner, it could be that they are becoming the type of person that you always wanted. But by them being such a strong presence, and by being so independent and sturdy, if you will, that might be the type of person that you can't or aren't comfortable or aren't used to being in a relationship with. And that kind of brings in that moon energy, that unexplored territory, the dark paths that are a little bit uncertain, and you don't really know what's going to be thrown at you. You're not really sure, This person is maybe known for having a sharp tongue a little bit. And I do see some level of competition here, that you have some, this could be indicative of a disagreement or an argument. This is a competitive card. And you, in this reading, this energy, this competitive spirit is sort of squaring up your energy here with this Queen of Swords. I don't know, I'm sorry, I know you can't really see that, but I try to do my best. And you, Leo, a fire sign, makes sense here with your King of Wands. You are also a very strong and somewhat tough and stubborn energy. And while you might have a little bit more flexibility than this energy here, and that this conflict, you might have to give a little bit more. They're probably not going to budge so much. But both, both still on equal stature. The king and the queens, kings and queens, those go together. Those match. They're on the same level, mentally, even, sometimes financially, and, in terms of their career and their professions and their life's experiences, they match. They're on level playing fields. I do feel that because of this, I'm not getting a lot of warm and fuzzies in terms of, this relationship or this situation. I do sense that you're going through this conflict, whatever this may be, is going to cause a little bit of disengagement on your part, because you are the more flexible, the more open-hearted type of energy, and you just might be willing to bend a little bit more than this person. And by bending and by compromising and by sort of giving up things that maybe we were originally standing up for, we often, go through that period of like, okay, well, I might not give so much, or you are going to pull back. You are going to be a little bit more reserved and, less involved, if you will. Don't get me wrong, though. I don't feel like, this is your hopes and dreams coming true. It's just something new, something that you haven't quite experienced before. And meeting this energy and having a strong connection or a strong bond, even, and I know I said that this card was like social events, but it's also kind of the card of marriage and union and, taking that next step, that next phase. It's a very joyous and celebratory message with this card, and that is also squaring up. It's interesting that you have the Four of Wands and the Five of Wands, and both of them are squaring up your two energies here. And even though there may be conflict, and this may even just represent you having some miscommunications and some issues in getting to know someone new, or getting to know the person that your partner is sort of evolving into. Maybe they are sort of growing up a little bit and becoming a little bit more mature and more independent. And while that's a good thing, it can cause tension, a little bit of a power struggle between the two of you, two very prominent, very strong energies, two very independent energies as well, like even, you're both kind of out looking in your own direction. And it doesn't mean you're entirely disconnected, but you are kind of in different environments, even just the looks of the cards, somewhat similar, but, this one they are different as well. So you are kind of in your own environments, you are kind of in your own worlds, and you having to deal with that and having to kind of come to terms and come to accept that, again, does cause you to go through that period of reevaluation and thinking, okay, well, is this something that I can handle? Is this something that I can manage? Is this right for me? Is this, this is the type of person that I've always wanted. This is the type of person that I've, always aspired to become partners with. And here I am, and here it is, and I don't quite know how to manage it. I don't quite, there's definitely some disconnection, even though it does seem to be a good match, if you will. Here you have your Page of Pentacles card, which, can often be some sort of news or a message, being delivered a message of some sort. Although I kind of see this as your energy as well. Your energy toward this person. I mean, here you're even looking at this person, you're kind of making an offering toward them. And in the middle, you have this joyous occasion, this celebratory feeling, this happiness, marriage, joining together. And you might be feeling a little bit like I said, just out of your element. It's something you've never quite experienced before, and hence the page, the level of the page, which is the more childlike, naive, youthful, inexperienced, has a lot of lessons to go through before, kind of finds its footing. And you might feel that way in regards to this energy. You might be feeling this, like, really, like you are a king, you are, but with this air-like stern, just, very sturdy person, you might be feeling humbled and like you have a lot to learn from this person, and you have a long ways to go before you are an equal match. It's just the way you're feeling. You are an equal match, but you just might not really perceive it that way, which is why, the Hangman. And, you might even kind of change your air a little bit in that, you're a fire sign, but you might take on a little bit more of a practical, more methodical method in terms of communicating and dealing with this person. And it might just not quite be exactly who you are. It might not be you being completely true to yourself. And when you're, going through these little, and it's not like a big conflict, it's not this big deal, but it's, miscommunications, it's power struggle, it's, who's going to be the top dog in the relationship. You might have two alpha personalities here, and, you both want to be the alpha. And when that happens, when you have two alphas coming together, there is a little bit of a clash. But you are on, like I said before, you are on equal footing. You are on the same playing field, and you are a good match. It's just a little bit out of your element. This just might not be the type of energy that you are so used to dealing with. It's the type of person you've always wanted, the type of person you've always projected, saying that this is, the quality or the caliber that I'm looking for, and that's coming to fruition, but it's just a little bit different than you probably were expecting. So Okay, that being said, let me pull your outcome card. Okay, actually one more and then we'll be good. This one. Okay. Oh, well, this makes sense. This is sort of the card of burden and responsibility and obligation. You know, but it's a load that you're willing to carry. It's these wands here are blossoming. They are proving to be fruitful. These wands are going to be put to good use. They have utility. They are heavy and they are clumsy and they are awkward, but they are worth the struggle. They're definitely worth the struggle. And I just think that just goes hand in hand with what I was saying. This is a person that's definitely on your level. Mentally, you might be, very much on the same page, but there is just that power struggle. This is the type of person that you've always wanted, but with that caliber, with that quality that you're looking for, that you want, we all want the best of the best. We all want the cream of the crop. And here it is. And it's a little bit more responsibility maybe than you had in store for yourself, than you thought it would be. And here's that, unexplored territory, that, kind of rugged terrain where things are going to be, you have your strange creatures, your wolves, your crustaceans, weird creatures coming out to sort of greet you or cross your path, if you will. And, this is kind of the nature of the beast. It's that everything that you want, but with higher caliber comes greater responsibility on your part, because you have to carry up your end of the bargain as well. Because this person wouldn't settle for less. This person holds themselves to incredibly high standards, which you do meet. And, you are at this caliber, even though you might be feeling this way, you really might be. But he or she, whoever this is representing, they are not necessarily viewing you as this. I mean, here, if I put them in order in which they came out, you have this one came first, then this one, then this one. And here you are with this sort of energy or this air, and you are looking at them and they're looking at you, and they see you as this wonderful visionary, this amazing person that is driven and accomplished and put together, and someone that has everything that they were also looking for. It's not just about you and what you're looking for and your hopes and dreams coming true. This person has dreams and goals and ambitions for themselves as well, and they do hold themselves to very high standards. So if they hold themselves to high standards and they are either interested in you, if you've piqued their interest in a dating scenario, or if this is your partner and they continue to bring you along and they continue to maintain this relationship, or to maintain this bond that you've already established, then that means that you are up to par with them as well. And they bear a lot of responsibility and obligation as well, because you, as a king, you're the type of person that a lot of other people want as well. And there is that level of, you know, having this great person in your life and knowing that at any moment they could leave and they could go away and find someone else. So you need to find this way to keep them happy, but also keep yourself happy as well. And, you know, you might really just kind of be going through and not realizing how much work it really takes to make a relationship last, or to make it work out, or to take it to that next level. And, you know, you are just like, wow, okay, well, you know, this person really turned your world upside down. And here are all these things that maybe you never considered before, you never thought about, you never had to deal with before. And here they are coming to light. And it's worth it. It is worth it. This person seems to be, you know, very strong, very prominent. And those are the type of people that we all aspire to both be ourselves and to have as partners. So, okay, I think that's it. I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to shuffle the cards, and then we'll turn it back on and do your general reading. Okay, Leo, so I've been shuffling the cards, and I'm going to do it just a little bit longer on camera. And then we'll go ahead and do your general reading for December 2015. One more. Okay. Actually, I'm going to do one more. There we go. That didn't feel finished. Okay. This one here. So this is your general reading for December 2015. Five of Wands again. The Sun, the third celestial major arcana. Your Two of Pentacles. Again, your Four of Wands. The Devil. Again, the Moon. Your Knight of Cups. Your Fool. And your Chariot. Okay, Leo. I kind of feel like I'm going to be giving you two of the same readings almost. I feel like I've pretty much dealt the same cards. So you have a very strong theme this month, and I do feel that it is tied to this, you know, some level of conflict, some level of arguing or competitive spirit, this power struggle, your hopes and your dreams, and this very prominent, dark, you know, kind of this unknown path that you're on, this like totally new journey that is scary and mysterious for you. In the very center of the reading, you have your Devil card, which is like this, it's like this, this willing, it's like you're willingly tying yourself up or chaining yourself up to some sense of obligation. You know, like this is an intense passion that maybe you have with someone else. And per your love reading, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if it was that, you know, Queen of Swords energy that came up in the last reading. It's you. It's even maybe even a level of codependence on some level, and it's just like this very, very strong connection. Not always like the best, but it is very, very intense. It's very strong, and it's this connection that we have with other people or with our work or with some level of addiction of something, or some substance of something. I can't talk, or some substance, and it's this thing that maybe we can't quit, this thing maybe we can't stop, we can't help ourselves. It's just it's pleasurable and it feels great, but on some level maybe it's not really the best for us. Um, again, you have this Four of Wands again, so both sides I can see, even a social element for the month, but also being placed directly next to this Devil card, this idea of a celebratory nature. There's someone in your life, and I feel that this is the, you know, Knight of Cups in this reading. Someone who is expressing an interest in you, who's coming into your life and making you a romantic offer. And again, being the Devil card and the Knight of Cups being squared up by this celebratory, victorious, happy festival, gathering of people, potentially or possibly a marriage, so a match for you. And even though there may be that level of codependence there, I feel as though this person just puts you on cloud nine, just completely blows you away. Again, like I said, this is pretty much like the exact same reading, maybe a few additional concepts or other concepts that are being reinforced from the last reading. And here I have your energy, this Fool, which is similar to that page that we pulled in that last reading. This is you embarking upon a new journey, a somewhat scary and mysterious and unknown journey with someone that you definitely have a lot of questions about. You certainly are having some internal struggles, if you will, and there may be this element of competition and power struggle within yourself in addition to being with this other person. So a lot of conflict this month, internally and externally for you. But this is someone who just has a lot to learn, a lot to go through, a lot of people to meet, a lot of lessons to learn. But you're in this state of absolute bliss, this state of pure happiness. I mean, it's that, what's that saying? Ignorance is bliss. That's where you are. You're about to walk off the side of a cliff and you just keep your head in the clouds, looking up into the sky, happy-go-lucky, and not really paying attention to the warning signs. It seems like you have this, you are feeling it. Maybe you're not admitting it to yourself. With the presence of this Chariot card, this is the opposing forces, the dualities, two beasts pulling the chariot in opposite directions, the sun and the moon, the opposing, interesting, the sun and the moon cards, which you even have. So again, even more dualities. Maybe what's best for you and your hopes and your dreams and your absolute happiness in this unknown path. Which way do you go? A lot of choices. And I'll get to that card in a second. And you're feeling this very strongly this month. I'm sure of it. This Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I continue this? There's this very intense, passionate, amazing connection that we have with someone, but there's something a little bit off about it. There are little warning signs, and I know this is such a small part of this card and of the entire reading, but this little dog that's trying to warn this man from falling off the cliff, that's actually kind of a big I just kind of looked almost immediately at that, and I feel that that's your internal subconscious talking to you and saying, hey, you need to watch out, you need to be aware of the things that's going on in your mind. A lot of times, especially when we first start dating someone, we receive these signals from them and they are red flags, and sometimes we're like, okay, well, that's an issue that does bother me, but we make so many excuses that we just sort of cover up those red flags. And it seems like you just have this, because of the intense connection that you feel with this person, and based on your last reading, because you are at similar levels and you are kind of going through that power struggle phase, you're not the top dog, you're not the alpha. So how are you, and so you have this, you're kind of on shaky ground here. So I'm going to pull up this Two of Pentacles cards. I mean, here you have these waves in the back there. You are balancing and you are able to keep the balls in the air. You're juggling. You're able to handle it, to deal with it. But it's difficult. I mean, can you imagine being on waves that look like this and trying to keep the ship afloat and trying to keep it upright instead of turning upside down? That's a very, very difficult task, and it's very precarious, and you have to be very precise in order to be able to do that. So you going through this dark path, this unknown terrain, you need to be careful of the little creatures that come up at you, and the things that are out there that are waiting to hurt you or to prevent you from moving forward. You have your sun up here at the top, and I feel as though that's just kind of the way that you're feeling with this connection, with this intensity, that you're just sort of blinding yourself to that and are sort of acting like this fool, like this child in this beautiful meadow. You're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You're Maria in The Sound of Music in the beginning. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Everything is wonderful. Everything is peachy and keen. But if you just open your eyes a little bit and pay attention to those warnings or those red flags, those signals that you're receiving, like when you're going through a conflict situation, when you pay attention to those, it will unveil some things that maybe you haven't been admitting to yourself that are bothering you and that are issues. This person is a wonderful person. They are romantic. They are interested in you. They are willing to give you their heart. But, just because someone is willing doesn't necessarily mean that they're, there won't be issues. Okay, I think I covered everything. Let me go ahead and pull a card. Ah, the Six of Pentacles. I love this card. This card to me represents, finding that balance between give and take. And I don't always like to reference past readings, but I mean, I'm going to, in your last reading, I even said that you might be a little bit more flexible than this person. And relationships, whether they're friendships or family members or business partnerships or romantic interests, they're all, there's always a level of give and take. There's always this level of compromise. And, this card often represents to me also even just communication and being able to, when you need help, to be able to ask for it. If there are things happening here and you're just feeling so frustrated, and maybe it's, not necessarily knowing how to communicate or not knowing how to really articulate or admit to ourselves the things that we are feeling or really going through. And this just, when we are in need, it is important to ask. And if you are unsure or if you are having issues, it is important to communicate those issues. And there's, because we're not going to resolve any of the conflict if we can't communicate or if we can't talk about those things. And on the flip side, if someone is asking us or trying to communicate with us, it is important that we reciprocate and that we respect them and come to a level of, okay, and respecting them, saying, okay, well, they were being genuine and are genuinely coming to talk to me and trying to resolve an issue. I owe them that same courtesy if there is some issues. So, that give and take, that balancing of the scale. If we have, we need to give. If we need to be able to receive. And you have a lot of dualities going on: the sun and the moon, the two, the seven, the chariot, the opposing forces, the juggling, the choices, the light path and the dark path, and the internal conflicts and the happiness. You have the 4 and the 5, and 2 in progression, and those you had in your last reading as well. And it's just that when you have so much of like scale balancing that needs to happen, this card is indicates that you are able to reach that balance. You are able to to juggle everything and keep everything afloat, which is a good thing. I'm trying to think of sort of that coming together, that yeah. I don't think I have anything else. I was trying to think, but I really don't think so. I think I covered it. It's very, very similar reading to your last. It seems like you have just a very strong theme for your month of December. And it does seem like it all works out. It will resolve itself, just because, you do have the balancing of the scale with the 6 of Pentacles and the sort of celebratory, happy natures of the Sun and the 4 of Wands, and yeah, so I think that's everything. So thank you again for watching. If you have any questions or are interested in a personal reading, just go ahead and email me. I put my contact information in the contact box down below. And I hope I can be helpful, and I hope you found this somewhat useful and somewhat inspirational for you, and gives you some guidance and direction for your month of December. I will be doing a year-long reading in the middle of December as well, so keep your eyes open for that. Okay, thanks.